All right, for today's station, you're going to be given your stack of numbers as you've seen from previous stations. These are all decimal numbers you should have at your table or desk. And today's activity is adding and subtracting decimals, depending on the worksheet or Google Doc that you've been given. If you are adding decimals, let's start with that. You can pick any two cards at random from the pile, or you can choose which two you want to add. It really doesn't matter how you choose to go about it. And you're going to be working with somebody next to you or your table on solving that addition problem. So let's say we picked the top two cards first, just why not? And they happen to be a whole number 3 and 1 6/100. And we're going to add them together. Well, how do we do that? We have our whiteboard next to us or our workbook. And we're going to set it up just like we would an addition problem, except we have to line up the place values. So our ones place in the 1 6/100 is going to be right above the ones place in our other card, the 3, here, just like they would line up in the cards. From there, you just fill in decimal place values as well. So 1 0/10, 3 0/10. There's no number here. There's no digit. And then 6/100 there. And of course, we don't have anything on the 3, so we fill it in with a 0. So everything is lined up. You might say you just line up your decimals. You add it together like you would any addition problem, bringing your decimal down, and that's your answer. Fairly straightforward. Let's try it with 2 more cards. I dropped one. Let's just pick 2 more at random. 1 16/100 and 2 65,000. So how do we line this up? If you'd like to pause the video and try on your own, feel free to do so. Okay, so here's how we would set it up. We want to line up the decimals first. Let's fill in one of our numbers. It doesn't matter which one you put in first on your board or your scrap paper. And then let's put the other number right below it with the decimals lined up, or the place values lined up. So putting our decimal right there underneath the other one. The 1 goes to the left of the decimal, and this 1 in the 10th place goes here, and the 6 in the 100th place goes, of course, in the 100th place below. And then if there are any spaces empty, just fill them in with a 0. Adding it together, just like an addition problem. And then bring your decimal down in your answer. That's it. Now the same thing goes for subtraction. Let's say instead of adding, we wanted to subtract these numbers. Well, take the larger number and then take the smaller number, and let's change that operation to a subtraction symbol. And we can see already that it's no different than adding. It's the same skill of how to set it up. You're just subtracting instead of adding.